Well, in this video, we're going to continue looking at modeling growth and decay using recursive sequences. So in the last video, we looked at example 1. This one, I want to look at example 2. Suppose upon graduation from SRJC, you accept a position paying $46,250 per year, and you are told to expect a 3% raise each year. In addition, your pay will increase by $500 per year. And that's to keep catching up with the national average. So we want to write a recursive sequence that models this scenario. All right, so N is always going to be time. We're looking at finance and modeling. Almost always going to be time, I should say. But what's it going to be? Time increments will be in years, because your salary is going to change on a yearly basis. All right, I want to look at P sub N. Actually, come out here. P sub N, this is your salary after working for N years. That's strange. Okay, so P sub N, think about that. That represents your salary. Your symbol for the old salary, that's going to be P sub N minus 1, previous amount. And then the new amount is going to be P sub N. All right, then we've got to figure out, well, how does your salary change on a year-to-year basis? Here. Well, two things are going to happen this time. You're going to get a 3% increase or raise. So I'm going to write out, you're going to add over here 0.03 times your previous amount. So that's P sub N minus 1. And then you're going to also add a flat $500. But think about that change. You're adding 3% of your previous salary, and then you're going to also add $500 each year. So that is your change. And from this, we could write the recursive sequence. That's P sub N. So I think about this as your previous salary. And, this is going to be your new salary. And how do you get your new salary from one year to the next? You have to take your previous salary, which we're going to call N P sub N minus 1. All right, then you need to add the change. So you're going to take your previous salary, you're going to add 0.03 times your previous salary, and tack on $500. So think about this. This is your new salary. It's going to be old salary. You don't lose your old salary. Then you're going to increase by 3% of your old salary. And then you're going to add $500 to your account. Excuse me. All right, and then initial condition. We're going to almost always note that with a P sub 0, P naught. And I'm going to look at what is your initial salary that you start with, $46,250. All right, so looking at your initial condition and the recursive equation, this is enough to then see how your salary would change over the next, let's say, 10 years. All right, so I want to go through on both softwares in this video. Let's start with Google Sheets to model how your salary is going to change. Your salary changes over the next 20 years. I'm going to create a scatterplot. So let's see, let's first do this in Google Sheets. I got the Google Sheets from before. You can open up a new one. On the bottom, there's this add sheet. I'm going to click on +1. It'll make a new sheet on the bottom. This is going to be years. Okay, just like before, I want to get to 10 years. So I'm going to highlight all of this so you see the blue square on the bottom right. Hover your mouse over, click your mouse down, and drag down to get to 10 years. So I'm going to look at 10 years in the future. Follow be here is salary. So we're going to start with 46,250, I believe it was. 46,250. And now I want to essentially enter this recursive sequence in. But don't enter it exactly. I'm going to not write p sub n minus 1. That's going to be your previous salary. And I'm going to add 0.03% times previous salary, and then plus $500. So to do that, I'm going to start with equal sign. Click on the previous salary, or you could type in the cell that it's in. You know that in this case it's cell column B, row 2, B2, plus 0.03 times the previous salary, and then plus $500. So notice it's a start with an equal sign. That's telling Google Sheets you're going to calculator mode. Previous salary plus 3% growth increase from your previous salary, and then plus $500, and that would give you your salary. You can click and drag down if you hover your mouse over the bottom right corner, or if you hover your mouse over the bottom right corner in that cell, you just type that formula, double click. Double click, and you should see your salary change. And sometimes it's nice just to keep this in terms of cents. Here, okay, let's go to the nearest penny. So this will automatically route to the nearest penny. And if I want to make a scatter plot, try to see how your salary changes over time, let's insert chart, chart type, scroll down until you see scatter, and then make sure at the bottom use column A as labels. All right. So here we have, you see your salary changing over time. 10 years, you're going to make $67,000. Click on Customize, edit chart. Let's see chart title. We could do salary, horizon, or horizontal. This is the x-axis. Let's see, this would be years. And vertical axis, I'll put $sign. And I think that'll do it. Let's exit here. And see, we've got a graphic. There's definitely a lot more we could do here. This is called a legend. I could not include the legend if I want. What happened? Just got rid of that dot. Oh, and let's see. I'd like this to be chart, customize, title font. Oh, wait, let's not do that. Okay, I have to play with this to see how to make this go from vertical to horizontal. But there's definitely a lot of edits and stuff that you can do to change the graphic. But I want to get like a quick visual of to see how your salary changes over time, increasing by 3% and adding on $500. Okay, and those of you that prefer Excel, if you have Microsoft Excel on your home computers, laptops or whatnot, I do think Excel is a slightly superior product. But Google Sheets works perfectly well, especially for our class. So do not buy anything else. Everything works almost the exact same. If you want to prefer to use Excel, there's a couple slight differences. So if you like Google Sheets, you could turn off your video right now if you want. Just focus on Google Sheets. I'm going to start with years and salary. All right, I need to do the same thing. Type in at least 3 different values. Excel will figure out a pattern if the pattern's simple enough. On the bottom right, you should see a, for my version of Excel, it's a very small green square. You should see a green or black square. Hover your mouse over, you should see a black or white plus sign, depending on your version. Click that, drag it down until you get to 10. There we go. And I'm going to start with 46,250. And let's see, for plugging in the equation, don't forget it's the previous balance plus 3%, 0.03 times previous balance. and then plus 500. So this part's the exact same as before. Don't forget to start with an equal sign and make sure you refer to whatever cell has the previous salary. Click enter. And then once you have this down, hover your mouse, make sure to highlight that cell that you just typed in the formula. You should see the formula up here. Hover your mouse over the bottom right of that cell until you see a plus sign. Click and drag down, or you can double click. The double click will go all the way to the last year. All right, so this should be the exact same value we had before, 67,888 after 10 years. So everything here is identical. To get the scatter plot, almost the same. Highlight both of those two columns, column A, column B. Just click on the A and hold your mouse down and slide over to get column B. Insert chart. Actually, let me go right here. Maybe better click right here. There's multiple ways to get there, but since you could see this on the video, click on Insert, and over here you have a bunch of different chart options. You want to make sure hover over the one that says XY scatter, and I'm going to click the first value. And here we get the scatter values. So notice this does look a little different. Let's see, why does this look different from Google Sheets? Notice here on Google Sheets, it automatically scaled the y-axis, so it does not start at 0, 0. It starts at the 46,000. All right, I could change that here on Excel if I wanted to. I could, if I have the chart design, add a chart element. Here's where I could add chart title, axis titles, primary, horizontal. Click over here. This is year. Axis title, primary, vertical. So I'll put dollar amounts here. Although I could do chart, axis title, more axis title options. And right here, I could then change this to right here, horizontal. I would change that value. And if I want on here, I could change this. If I right-click and see the format axis, notice right here, I have minimum, maximum for the bounds. So instead of 0 to 80,000, I could start it at, say, 40,000. And then it's going to look a lot more similar. Instead of 0, it starts at 40,000. You have a lot of functionality and ways to edit on Excel and Google Sheets. But at least this way, it kind of looks very similar to what we did on Google Sheets. Okay, we're going to go over 2 more examples in this video series, looking at modeling growth or decay with recursive sequences.